and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Folake Agumbiade, aka the Customer Seductress, and I am super excited to be back again today. If this is your first time bumping into this channel, where have you been? I'm super pumped that you're here. Thank you for dropping by. Look below, there's a red button. It says subscribe. Click on it. Pop. Yes, you just subscribe. Beside it, there's a bell sign. Click on the bell sign so that you can get a notification every single time I upload a new video. If you're a frequent returner to this channel, thank you for always coming back. You make what I do pretty amazing. You're the reason why I come here and drop video after video. Don't forget to like, give us a thumbs up, comment, type something now, say something, and share this video with your family and friends. Don't forget to watch the ads, okay? Watch the ads on my video, okay? Thank you. If you're yet to watch the last video on the channel, Learning Moments, you are missing out big time. If you're a parent, teens, mentor, coach, you know, you're raising the next generation, you need to watch that video. Today's topic is one that I have come to discover it is very important to talk about because it is tied to your emotional well-being, your success in life, and you being able to advance yourself on every side. Today, we'll be talking about managing disappointments. Yes. How do you bust that disappointment that happens in your life? And what should you do when you are going through disappointing times? Disappointment is a part of life that comes when your hopes and expectations are not met. All of us, you and I, have all felt disappointment at all times, various times, in our relationships, in people, and of course in ourselves. It's not an easy emotion to dilly-dally around because it is very unhealthy. However, there are healthy ways to manage disappointment and turn it around for your own good. For a lot of people, what they do when they get disappointment is that they want to handle it by avoiding it altogether. It's one way to be sure that you do not get disappointment when you don't have expectations. But really, is it practical? Is it realistic for you to live as an individual in life without expectations? Expectations are helpful. So why would I tell you that a coping mechanism for avoiding disappointment is not to have expectations? No. We have to learn to cope with the unpleasantness of disappointments that are sure to come up every single time we have expectations. There are healthy ways that you can deal with any kind of disappointment that you come across. I'm going to be, dancing around a few of them and hoping that this helps you find a way forward through that situation that you're going through right now. Number one, understand the disappointment and validate it. Yes. Acknowledge what you are experiencing in that moment is disappointment. For you, it might be very tempting to ignore it. And I do that too sometimes. Or minimize it. Or just distract yourself from the unpleasant feelings. But you are living in denial because when that emotion finally comes true, it's going to tear you apart. So you have to acknowledge what you're feeling in that moment, that someone disappointed you, you're disappointed in yourself, or you're disappointed in someone else, in a relationship, a friendship, a marriage, a situationship, a work colleague. It actually makes those feelings more of a problem when you ignore it. When you acknowledge it, you are expected to name the feeling. Even by saying it aloud, I'm so disappointed in myself. Sometimes I say that to my friends. There's certain situations that I expect myself to handle myself well. Maybe somebody, I'm working on this session of my life where I'm really working on being calm when I'm disrespected. And instances have happened where I just feel disrespected or I feel gaslighted, and I find myself behaving in ways that I find disappointing to myself. So I name it, acknowledge what it is. Validating your emotions means accepting that they are present and remembering that it's okay to feel those feelings. Because you feel it does not mean it's bad. Emotions are always there for a reason. The point to take away, however, when you acknowledge, is how do I regulate that emotion when I feel it? So we move on to regulation. Number 2, tolerate and ride the wave of disappointment. Yes. When you feel disappointed, it's not easy for it to just go away. Have you ever tried making an emotion go away? It's very hard. Very, very hard. Just go away. Or even tried creating an emotion you don't have. So you're disappointed and you're trying to move out of disappointment to happiness all of a sudden. It doesn't work that way. No matter how much you will it in your mind, it is a tide and you are going to have to ride that wave for a little bit until it passes or it fades out. In fact, all emotions, disappointments including, pass or fade over time. Someone you loved so much, when you are going down the line, there's a lot of things you need to do to stay in love. If you're disappointed in someone, it will pass over time. Regardless of how upsetting or uncomfortable the situation is at first, it will fade over time. So a healthy way of coping with disappointment is to remind yourself that it's a wave, it will pass. But the caveat to that is that mentality that people have that time heals everything. If you're experiencing disappointment, you're going to have to work on that emotion before it goes away. Time does not heal emotional wounds. You need to do the work to ensure that you take yourself from one emotion to the next, because you have the ability to regulate and control emotion. So get support if you need it. Talk to a few friends, get an accountability partner, get a coach, get a therapist to help you ride that wave of disappointment while you're also focusing on other things that will take your mind out of that situation. You're focusing your energies on pleasant things that will lessen the intensity of the feeling. Number 3, check your expectations before you wreck yourself. Make sure you adjust your expectations to match your reality. Sometimes just adjusting your expectation is the best way to cope with disappointment. It's like somebody breaks your heart back to back and you are still saying that you believe in that person. Why? Why would somebody keep making you miserable and you still have high expectations for that person? Lower your expectations. Don't let them serve you breakfast. Same person serving you breakfast 4 times. What are you doing? Breakfast in my part of the world means giving you a heartbreak. What are you doing? Somebody breaks up with you the first time. Believe it when he says he doesn't want to do anymore. Yeah? Especially if it's a relationship. Even in a marriage. Because it takes 2 people to fix something. Yeah? So that person has to want to be there for them to be there. So adjust your expectations. If an expectation is too rigid, or it's not flexible, or it doesn't line with your reality, it's very easy for you to be disappointed. He's never at home. He's never around. He never calls you. He never checks up on you. He doesn't care about you. And you still are having those expectations, and they're disappointing you back to back in one relationship. Hello? Please try. If you have expectations that people must text you back 5 minutes after you send them a text message, that's an unrealistic expectation, because anything could be happening. They could not be around their phone. So because they don't text you back in 5 minutes, you start to panic, you're throwing tantrums? Really, sweetheart? Really? stud, bloke. That doesn't make sense. You need to align your expectations to make it more realistic. Number 4, I think, focus on the big picture. What does that mean? The big picture is that sometimes you're going to be expecting and accepting disappointment in life. This is a helpful way for dealing with disappointment, because if you remember that disappointments are a part of life and there is no way you can avoid it altogether. Fairy tales are only in storybooks. They're only on Disney. They don't happen in real life. Disappointment is a feeling that you must encounter as a living, breathing, walking human being. So having that expectation that you will live a life free of disappointments is setting yourself up for being disappointed. So embrace it. Accept disappointing circumstances. Despite your emotional reaction, it can actually help you feel less uncomfortable about the disappointment. When certain things happen, I'm just like, well, nobody took advantage of me. I placed myself in that position. People are people. They're going to do what they're going to do anyway. So get over it. Yeah? Let's move on quickly to some situations where disappointment comes up from and examples on how you can handle them. Number 1, disappointment in relationships. I've been talking about that for a bit. Disappointments come up in any meaningful relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, family, any relationship, situationship, circumstance. When it does come up, what you need to do is understand that valuing in a relationship and having expectations for that relationship goes hand in hand. What I'm trying to say is only give value to whom value is attainable. Manage your expectations in your relationships. Don't put too much expectations on people who do not have the value that you're looking for. You will be expecting too much from them. I think I'm going to do a part 2 of this particular video, and I'm going to dwell on this because a lot of relationships that go south, you are asking for what your partner does not have the ability physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically have to give you. You're going to be disappointed. My husband is a phlegmatic and he will not go out with me. He doesn't like going out. That's who he is. If I continually believe that he does not love me, that is why he doesn't go out with me, there will be a problem. He does not have it in him to give it to me. So you need to value your relationship enough to give the expectation that the person can carry to them. The one they can't carry, they are not El Shaddai. They are not all knowing, all doing in your life. You will need to give those expectations to other support systems that you create in your life. Your family, your church, your community, your friends. You will need to give those expectations to them. Your partner can't carry everything that you're putting on them. Number 2, you could be disappointed in yourself. Feeling disappointed in yourself is very uncomfortable. It triggers a lot of sadness and guilt when you feel disappointed in yourself. Having said that, we all have many expectations about what we want for ourselves. We hold ourselves to those expectations. How we feel, how we act, how we think, how we spend our time, how we exert our energy, what abilities we exhibit, what traits we should have, what opportunities we should explore, and so on. Given all these expectations, it is easy to see why the feeling of disappointment is a nearly universal experience. So be sure that you're not the only one feeling disappointed in some of your actions. But get over it. Because if you beat yourself down, who is going to stand against the world with you? You have to do that. Get over it. Understand that your failures are not the end of your situation. You just need to jump on it again and look at that situation from another perspective and move on. It seems Very difficult to do, but if you grow that muscle of resilience that allows you to bounce back from adversity, you would reduce the amount of stress that you give yourself. The last one is when people disappoint you. Yes. This one feels like just being disappointed in yourself. It's inevitable for you to feel disappointment in some way from other people. Other people have their own ideas, feelings, desires, challenges. There is no way that they can meet your every expectation. I've said that. So when you feel disappointed in someone, it is normal for you to feel frustrated, resentful, or even anger. So how do you resolve it? Work on yourself. Take responsibilities for the part you played in people disappointing you. People will be people. If you give them vulnerabilities, they will abuse or rubbish it. So you need to go forward by maximizing your relationships with people. Understand what they can offer you and harness it. What they can't offer it, let it go. At this point in time, I'd like you to subscribe. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, the red button is there. Click the subscribe button. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with your family and friends. Till I come into your faces sometime soon, it's your girl, the Customer Seductress. I love you. Stay away from disappointments as best as you can and keep living an amazing life. Bye, guys.